Hello, I'm Dr. Tom, and I'd like to welcome you to this Friday's update. And as you can see, I'm coming to you from my home this week because I'm at home like so many of you. The less interaction we have with people, the better off we are at this particular time. So I'm going to film this a little bit differently from my iPhone today, and I'll be asking Joel to interject different pictures as we make our cuts and our edits. And I'm going to have him show you a couple of the flowers and just some of the beauty that's in nature that just happens to be going on here in Arkansas at this time. And each time that you see one of these flowers, my desire, my ask for you today is for it to trigger and for you to think about a time in your life that was very happy. A time in your life where something new happened. You see, we must take our brain into those areas. And there is no better time than spring. And there's no better representation of spring than to show you beautiful flowers. So I'll ask that to be a little bit different on this particular week's Friday update. I'll be back with you in just a moment. My first ask and topic for today is about giving. In this time of world disruption, let's just call it, this is a time for you to give, not gouge. You see, there's such a difference in giving than gouging. To give of yourself, whether that's giving of your time, efforts, energy, money, tithing, however it is that you give, giving to your favorite charity. You see, when we come out of this and we come on the backside of this curve, there will be such a huge pent-up demand. It will be a wonderful opportunity for you to give. So it's not just about giving right now at this time. When you're thinking, I'm at my home, how can I contribute? There will be plenty of time. There's always time to give. You see, what we did a week ago in Mortar Health System was to do a gift, because one of the things you can do to fight this virus, obviously, is washing your hands, staying away from people, that human physical contact of people, getting good rest, taking vitamin C, taking your vitamins, changing your diet to enhance it with more fruits and more vegetables, enhance your health, building your immune system. And what we did was to offer the greatest discount we've ever had on our vitamin C, that we've had for decades. And the response has been overwhelming. It's unimaginable how much of that product has moved in the last week. And we're continuing that in a little different format, still in the spirit of giving, still at a 50% off. You see, instead of gouging, it's a time for giving. Instead of a time to be hoarding toilet paper and to be hoarding hand sanitizer and to be gouging the pricing of those things and the prices of thermometers, which, you know, a month ago were $30 and now they're $200. It's not that time. This is a time to show the giving. You see, so often, I was talking with Blaine and Dr. Ted this week about this, in that oftentimes we've given to charity. We've given of our time. We did that through Mortar Health System and through the clinic. And sometimes it was charity that we knew we were gifting things. And sometimes when others just didn't pay their bill, it ended up being charity. We just didn't know it on the front end. You see, there's a difference in giving up front and others not upholding their contract. A very important lesson inside the world of Jen. So in this time, be more understanding. Even in the contracts, even in the things that you know that people are, quote, supposed to do, just remember, this is a time of disruption. People are being bombarded with fear. I ask you, we ask you, come from a place of faith. We will get through this. It will be spectacular on the backside of this curve. Trust in the process. Next, I'd like to encourage you that as you're being bombarded with statistics and it's getting worse here and it's getting worse there, these numbers are going to continue to go up. Most everywhere in the world. So just expect that. That's the new normal. And I want you to understand, I desire that you understand that part of that is because these statistics are being taken primarily from a symptomatic population. What that means is that the people are being tested are the ones that have symptoms. They have a fever, they're sick. You see, that would be like going to give you an analogy of what would have happened in my office. If you came to see me as a chiropractor, if you came into a chiropractic office and you did a survey of people who had neck pain and back pain, you'd find that most everyone on the planet would have neck pain and back pain because everyone you tested or everyone that you talked to or asked would have had that symptom. So understand that these stats are higher now. Some of the, quote, scary stats, they're just stats. They're just our best guess of what's coming and what's going to happen. So don't go into fear. My recommendation is don't spend hours and hours and hours a day in front of the TV listening to some things that, in my opinion, become somewhat sensationalized. I would suggest being informed. Take a time of day. You can get an update anytime you'd like and get it from a trusted source who doesn't necessarily have a vested interest in the conversation, if you will. This has been a disruptor. It's disrupting people in so many aspects of their lives, from birthday parties and weddings to your job, to international travel, to your vacations, to the viability of your business. Will it survive? And I will tell you that humankind is very resourceful, and there will be opportunities where there is this much disruption, there will be that much opportunity at some point. Will it be exactly the same? Probably not. For some people. For most, it will. You see, this may be about an opportunity for you to grow, for you to begin to study and to learn. This may be an opportunity for you to spend more time on your spiritual aspect. It may be a time for you to spend more time studying the things that you, quote, never really had the time to do. Well, maybe in that transit time you used to go to and from work, you could spend more time studying the Success Mastery course. You could spend more time doing projects around the house. You can make a plan. Have a plan of cleaning one room at a time. Have a plan of doing all of the things you said that whenever you have time, you'll get to. This is the time. It's the time to think about positive things, because the reality is that positive areas of your brain are also, positive memories are stored in the same areas of your brain. That's why we talk about celebrating the win. So the more things you do, no matter how small and trivial and meaningless they may seem in the moment, the fact that they're a win will put you into that area of your brain and allow you to have another win. As you know, we're heading into April. And there's that old saying that says, April showers bring May flowers. And that is certainly our intention inside the world of Jen. And I will tell you, you can see some flowers that are happening a little early here in Arkansas for that. This is a forsythia bush behind me that we can enjoy from looking out the backside of the house. And part of this is the gift of nature. And I will tell you that in the month of April, we are going to shower you with gifts. From our terrific Tuesdays to our Wellness Wednesdays to our Friday updates to our Pat Node Power Up series that's coming. And I will tell you that it is our desire to share more and more and more information with you. Because it is through that information that you form your educated mind. You form the belief system, if you will. You compare these newfound truths that you've been studying in the Success Mastery course. You compare those concepts, if you will, because many of you may be hearing them for the very first time. And the first time you hear something, it may just kind of just go, not that it's over your head information, but it just may go over your head as far as you incorporating it into your life. And next, I'd like to share with you a gentleman who has been incorporating this information and these principles and these concepts his entire life. I'll be back with you in just a moment. I'd like to share with you, as you can see in this particular shot, there's a greenhouse behind me because we truly do walk the walk, and that's where we'll keep different plants that we'll bring out, different herbs that we'll bring out and put them out in the next month or so here in Arkansas. That's where we winter things so that we can have those fresh additions to our diet, if you will, all through the winter. And I will tell you, I was talking this week with Ed Foreman. You know, Ed is such a gift to humanity, but specifically inside the Global Information Network. Because Ed continues to give and give and give, whether he comes to a major event and is presenting from stage or whether he jumps on a Zoom call. He is such a giving personality. He is such a giving person. And this week I was having a conversation with him about, I call Ed from time to time just to check in, see how he's doing, because he's a friend. I love him dearly. My whole family loves him dearly, as do you, I know. And I like to check in with him from time to time just to make sure he's doing okay. And we had a conversation this week that I thought was so spot on, because we were talking about how as we interact with people who have not had the Gen training, how differently they respond and differently they react to what's going on in this global situation. And he was relaying a story to me about how even one of the doctors that he was talking to had shared with him that this doctor was coming from fear. I mean, straight out from a fear. It was like the end of days kind of conversation. And the longer it went on, it said to him, you of all people need to be positive because others are depending upon you to be that positive force. And it was like, oh, and a light went off. You see, so often we in Gen forget that others haven't had this training for a lifetime. They haven't spent their entire adult life, and beginning as children, which is why we do the youth program, they haven't spent their entire lives in an arena of learning and how to react and how to discern and how to detach from outcomes that others respond differently to. And it was so beautiful. And I said, Ed, I'm doing this new program of a Wellness Wednesday, and would you be a guest of mine on that? And there was absolutely no hesitation. Before I could finish the ask, he knew, he kind of, Ed's like that. He's pretty perceptive. He said, I'd be honored. I'd love to. I appreciate what you and your family have done, sharing these messages and sharing this information. And I asked him, Ed, what is it that you think, got you started? You're always so positive and it's always terrific. And you see, I have, they were bumper stickers that Ed gave out in a Successful Life course back in 80, I believe it was 82 or 83. And I've kept that in my office ever since. I've moved offices. I still have it there. It sits on the windowsill. And I was looking at it earlier this morning, and that's probably what triggered for me to check in with Ed. You see, he said to me, Dr. Tom, let me tell you, my mother was the key. She was so positive in everything that she said and everything that she did. And she molded me in those young years. And he went on to say, Dr. Thomas, it's like if you expect things to be good, they are. And if you expect things to be tough, they sure are. We'll go deeper into that concept and deeper into the background of Ed on our next Wellness Wednesday program. So be sure and tune in for that if you would, because we're going to talk about the mental aspect of health and how you can, in this time of disruption, be calm and be collected and have a plan. And in closing this week, I'd like to re-emphasize the concept of exercise. I've been on a number of calls, and it's difficult to remember which messages I shared with what crowd in the past 3 weeks. But I will tell you this: exercise is an important piece of this puzzle because this particular virus affects the respiratory system. So the best thing that you can do is to begin to exercise your respiratory system to help you because most all people will at some point be exposed to this. The difference is, are you going to be in the 80 to 90% that experience mild or absolutely no symptomatology from this? Or are you going to be in the 10% that does have rather severe symptomatologies that may require hospitalization, which may require further medical treatment? So the goal is to begin to build your immune system, to begin to exercise your lungs and your heart, your cardiovascular system. And a very simple way to do that, something you can do from home, you can do this every day, is something that we refer to as 4-squared breathing. It's a part of the process that we do in our treatment programs. And it's really very simple to do. And it's something that you can actually build up, like when you go skiing, when you go up the mountains, when you go to higher altitude. It takes a few days to adjust, but eventually you adjust in a couple of days. And you can even do rigorous exercise and still be able to breathe in a couple of days or 3 days or 4 days or 5 days. And so since the peak of this here in the United States and wherever you are in the world, the peak of this may not have reached you yet. So this is the perfect time because in a week's period of time, you can make a huge improvement in your breathing capability, your lung capacity, if you will, the ability to transfer oxygen and carbon dioxide. So it's called 4-square breathing, and it has 4 simple steps. The 4 components of this are an inhalation, which you do over a period of time. I'll give you an example in just a moment. Then you hold your breath for a period of time, an equal period of time. Then you exhale for a period of time. And then you hold your breath out for a period of time. So those are the 4 components, the 4 squared, and we're going to do it for the same increment of time in each of those situations. So I'll do it. It'll be a little bit different because I'm going to talk through it. You don't need to talk while you're doing this. So and I'll just do this for a count of 5. You can build it up to a count of 10 or 12 or 15 as you begin to expand your lung capacity, which I'll go into more on a Wellness Wednesday piece. I just wanted you to experience what it's like here. And that is, we'll inhale, and it's not take your breath in all at once, it's take it in over the period of the count of 5. So we'll begin to take our breath in, 2, 3, 4, 5. We would hold it for the count of 5, 3, 4, 5. We'll exhale slowly over the 5 count, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we'll hold it out for a 5 count, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then you would start another breath. You can repeat that 4 or 5 times. And what you'll find is that you'll have a number that you can count to. If you start it with 5 and you can do that, then next time do it to 6. The goal is to be able to increase the amount of time that you can have in each of those 4 components, which will build your lung capacity. It's something you can actively do. And while you're doing it, be sure and think positive thoughts. You're doing this for you. You're celebrating the win, because just as the negative loss areas of your life are stored in one area, so are the wins. It's why we talk about celebrating the win. It's why I get out and exercise. As you can see behind me, I like to get outside and run a chainsaw, cut some wood. I throw it in that Kawasaki Mule and I drive around, and it puts my brain in a completely different place. No one can call. I can't talk. I can't text. All of that allows me to think about something I enjoy. I encourage you to do the very same thing. Think about the things that you enjoy. Study in the Success Mastery course. Begin to move up the levels of the Success Mastery course, because the ultimate goal is to be a level 7 so that you can get level 8 for free. I'm Dr. Tom. I hope you have an absolutely spectacular week. I look forward to touching base with you next week on our Friday update.